Hi, I'm Andy. I am Benjamin's mom, and this is JJ, my little model. Today I'm going to show you how to do joint compression, which is a really great sensory tool to help regulate and give input to Benjamin's sensory system. What you're doing when you're putting pressure into the joints is there's a fluid, which I can't remember how to say it right, synovial, something like that, fluid, that when you're pushing the joints together helps release that, and it helps to regulate his nervous system. It's I could get really technical, but I'm not going to. So what you want to do is he can either be lying down or he can be sitting in your lap. I do it with him sitting in my lap, just like this. It gives me a little bit more control over him, and he can be playing with something. I generally have him, he has one of his brushes that he'll hold in his hand and play with while I do this. So the biggest important thing when you are doing this is that you are not pulling the joints apart, right? You're not going like this. You're not pulling apart. You're pushing together. Taking each limb, you're going to grab on opposite sides of the major joints of his body, and you're going to grab them firmly and you're going to push them together, then release, then push them together, then release. Now it can move quickly. When I do it, I grab each one and I go 1, 2, 3. So what I do is I really hold one still and push the other into it. So just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 times each time you do it. I also do his fingers. When I do his fingers, I grab them with one hand and then hold here. Then go 1, 2, 3, pushing his fingers and holding his hands still. So then you want to do his elbow. Again, the elbow, you hold the lower arm and the upper arm with your arms straight, with his arms straight, upper arm, lower arm, push, 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 10 times. With the shoulder, you're gonna bend like this. Yeah, I bend it in like this. I'm like questioning what I do now with him. Yeah, okay. And I hold one hand on his elbow here and one hand behind his shoulder, and then push, right? Push here, stabilizing here, push, push. So you'll hold behind his, yeah, that's what I do. So I start shoulder, elbow, wrist, fingers. Then I do the other side. Again, shoulder, pressing on his elbow, supporting his shoulder 10 times. Straighten his arm, upper lower arm, elbow 10 times. Right above his wrist, right below his wrist, push 10 times. Do his fingers, hold his palm, push 10 times. Then you're going to move on to his lower body. Then his upper body. Now you're going to move to his lower body. You're going to do his hips first. So you're going to hold underneath his booty, and you're going to hold his legs going to be out straight. So you're going to hold it under his butt here, and I actually use like his knee, and then you push his knee bent. You push his knee towards his hip. You're supporting his hip back here and pushing his knee towards his hip joint, okay, 10 times. And then you're going to straighten his leg, and you're going to hold his upper leg right above his knee, right below his knee, and push 10 times. Lower leg up towards his upper leg to compress the knee joint 10 times. Then you're going to do his ankle. So you're going to flex his foot and put one hand on the back of his foot, one hand right above his ankle, and push 10 times. You can do his toes, just like his fingers. You're gonna hold the base of his foot, grab his toes in your hand, his cute little baby toes. Sometimes he thinks this is funny because I play this little piggy with him all the time, so he'll think I'm doing that, which you can. And then push his toes into his foot 10 times. And do it on the other leg. Put your hand behind his hip. You're going to bend his leg and push onto his knee, pushing his knee towards his hip 10 times. Again, he's sitting right here, right? So if he's sitting in your lap, it's like my hand is here, his knee is here, I'm pushing You're gonna move, you're both gonna be moving a lot with this one, honestly. And then, again, you straighten his leg, grab it above his knee, below his knee, and you're pushing his lower leg towards his upper leg. And then his ankle on this side, flex his foot, put your right hand above his ankle, then push here 10 times. And then do his toes. Again, you're gonna grab his foot with one hand to stabilize, his toes with your other hand, and push his toes towards his foot. Then the last thing you're gonna do is you're gonna sit him up. You're gonna you wanna make sure his spine is nice and stable underneath you. Hold him close to you, and you're just gonna push straight down with your arms onto his shoulders. 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's the last of you doing anything with the joints, and you're just gonna wrap him up around you. You're gonna pull his arms in, pull his legs in. You're gonna cuddle him nice and tight. You can play with him here. Just make it fun so he doesn't feel like you're like, restraining him. And then you're just squeezing him firmly but not excessively for a few seconds. And then he's all done. He can still sit with you if he's wanting to do that. Get up and play. Move on if you're doing more sensory. Move on to the next thing. But that is joint compression. I hope that was helpful. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, thanks for taking care of our babe. Be well.